I love pizza and I love video games. In this review I'm going to be using pizza to describe how I feel about Tango Gamework's new action rhythm game, Hi-Fi Rush. Every game starts with a concept, just as every pizza starts with a dough. Conceptually, Hi-Fi Rush is an action rhythm game where everything, and I mean everything, in the cyberpunk world moves to the beat, including the protagonist Chai. Chai, or who I like to call Scott Spider-Man Pilgrim, ends up with the arm of Winter Soldier in an arc reactor powered by an iPod Nano. If this sounds ridiculous, it is, but that's what makes Hi-Fi Rush awesome. You are initially aided by a cute robo-cat named 808 and her owner Peppermint. There are also several other characters that you meet and help you in your mission to take down the evil corporation Vandelay. Each character is interesting and brings a unique perspective on Vandelay to the team. The dynamic between the lovable idiot Chai and the more serious techie Peppermint is wonderful, and the game pulls off one of the most obvious twists ever by relying on Chai's unawareness. It's not like this game has the deepest storytelling, but the cast of lovable characters had me tearing up and jumping for joy throughout the game, particularly in the last few hours. The foundation that Hi-Fi Rush is built upon is a nice fluffy dough with a nice crunch on the bottom. Let's get into what is perhaps the most important aspect of a video game, the gameplay. Gameplay can make or break a game just as sauce can make or break a pizza, and let me tell you, Hi-Fi Rush has some tasty sauce. The gameplay is smooth, tight, and satisfying. I myself am not into rhythm games as a genre, but this game does a good job of easing you into the different systems in the game. This allowed me to get into the flow of the combat quickly, and once that happened, I fell in love with this game. The gameplay also never becomes stale because the game introduces different Vandelay robots to fight and abilities that help flesh out the combat. The more I played, the more A scores I started to see, which was cool because the game itself was getting harder, but I was getting better at it thanks partially to the new abilities. There are more abilities than you'll probably ever use, but each one is stylish and you can't go wrong on which one you purchase from the store. Speaking of the store, there are also several upgrades you can buy to help Chai make it through some of the harder encounters. In between the combat encounters, there is platforming that is average, but is heightened by the twist that everything is moving to the beat. This makes for some more interesting and engaging platforming sections than your average 3D platformer. After you fight and platform your way through each level, you find yourself face to face with a boss in uniquely designed boss encounters. Hi-Fi Rush has the perfect mix of traditional boss fights and more unique and unexpected ways of taking down the heads of Vandelay. One of the boss fights in particular is one of my favorite boss fights in recent memory, as it combines everything I love about this game into one ridiculous sequence. It's time to move on to the toppings of Hi-Fi Rush. The visual presentation of a game is often the first thing you notice because it is what you see, and if you're making pizza correctly, unlike those weirdos in Chicago, the same thing can be said for pizza toppings. Hi-Fi Rush's visual presentation is downright incredible. The comic book art style is vibrant and relies on the brighter colors that make the game truly pop. And it's not just when you are roaming around the levels in the gameplay, the cutscenes are also something to behold. Like I said before, everything is on beat, and that includes the cutscenes. Each motion, each sound effect is on beat with the song playing. There are numerous jaw-dropping cutscenes that reminded me of my wonderful experience watching Into the Spider-Verse for the first time. This game sets a new standard for choosing a style and committing to it unabashedly. The topping mix is perfection. However, no game as a whole is perfect, so let's get into my biggest problem with Hi-Fi Rush. My biggest gripe is so small it's more just a minor inconvenience that I even hesitate to compare it to putting pineapple on pizza. But anyway, my biggest nitpick actually comes after the credits roll, as there is some endgame content that you unlock. First, you unlock all these outfits for the characters that would have been nice to have when you played through the game the first time. Second, and this one I really don't get, is that when you replay levels it still plays the tutorials, which is frustrating when you were just trying to go through and collect everything. And listen, maybe I'm just dumb and couldn't find the option to turn them off, and if that's the case, let me know in the comments. I'm hopeful that an update might change this in the future. Now comes a question that needs to be asked about every video game these days. Are there any bugs in Hi-Fi Rush? In my experience, Hi-Fi Rush is a well-polished game, and I did not experience any noticeable bugs. Gotta love a pizza with no air bubbles. Finally, let's get to the final plating. Hi-Fi Rush is a wonderful ride from beginning to end. The game brings together a vibrant color palette, an electrifying soundtrack, satisfying rhythmic combat, and lovable characters to create what is sure to be one of the most memorable gaming experiences of 2023. If Hi-Fi Rush was a pizza, it'd be one of those pizzas that comes out of the oven and you just know that the cook from dough to plate put their whole damn heart into it. Hi-Fi Rush is a 5-slicer. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you want to be notified when the next pizza review comes out, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you thought about Hi-Fi Rush in the comments below, and until next time, thank you for watching.